Hi, I'm Tom Hess, and I'm glad that you've come here to check out this video to learn more about how to teach students to play guitar. Now, the very first thing that I want to talk about is if you are looking for a specific method or a specific strategy or a specific template which then you can use to teach all your students how to play guitar, you're on the wrong track already. Okay, let me explain to you why and then show you what the alternative is that's much better. First of all, as you probably know, students learn at different rates. They are inspired by different things. They have different interests, different skill sets, different knowledge. They process information differently. They'll be more committed to one process versus another. So if you're looking for that template, that one thing that you can just use over and over and over again and it's going to work, you're going to find it's not going to work. I mean, it's going to work with some students, sure. But other students, they're just not going to connect with that. They're just not going to get the result. Now, if you've been teaching for a while, you already know this. This is nothing new to you. You already know that whatever you're currently doing is working with some students. And then you also know that with other students, it's not working at all. Now, it doesn't mean it's your fault, and it doesn't necessarily mean that there's anything wrong with that student. It just means that it's not a good match. I'm not saying that you and the student aren't a good match. I'm saying that the materials or the methodology that you're using isn't a good match for the way that student is going to be inspired, committed, and able to move forward. That's the part that's not the good match. Okay? So what you need to do to be more effective with all of your students, not just some, but all of the students that sit before you in a class or a private lesson, is you first need to identify all the major areas that are recurring problems or recurring challenges with the students that you're teaching. Okay, and you'll find if you just make a list of the common problems or the common issues that guitar players face, you'll come up with all kinds of these right away. All right. Now, the next thing you need to do is you need to have 3 or 4 different but effective strategies or methods or templates to use on each of those specific areas. Okay? When I started out teaching guitar, I wasn't very effective because I was connecting well with some students but not with others, and I didn't understand why. Then what I started doing was I developed or borrowed from other teachers 3 or 4 different guitar teaching methods. And then I would try to match the student with one of those 3 or 4 different methods, and I would say, okay, I think this student would learn best with that approach, and I'll take that approach with the student all the way through. Or I'll take this approach with the student all the way through. And what I realized there, after many years of doing that with mediocre results, is that some of the pieces of this method worked well for the student, but other pieces didn't. Or some pieces from this method would work with that student, but others didn't. So then I had to break it down even further and go component by component. And then things started to become much more clear, and I became much, much more effective as a teacher. And frankly, I've probably taught more virtuoso guitar teachers than anyone else in the United States of America. I know that's a big claim, but if you come to my website and look at all of the students I've developed to become great guitar players, you can see them all, and there's a big number of them that have reached very, very high levels of playing. I think that you'll understand what I'm saying. Okay, but I'm not here to talk about me or my students. I'm here to talk to you about how you can increase your skills and your effectiveness and make better connections with the students that you have. Come to my website at the link below, and what I'm going to do is share with you some very specific self-assessments that you can take that are going to first identify some strengths and weaknesses that you may have, and also give you some additional clarity on how you can improve in different areas. Now, once you take these assessments, I'm going to give you some very specific, usable, and relevant tips or advice or resources that you can use to improve in all those different areas which you may not be very confident in or you might need some help on. In addition, I'm going to give you a free video. It's about 22 or 23 minutes long that's going to show you how to implement a totally new, or at least it probably will be new to you, very innovative and highly effective guitar teaching business model. It's not only going to help you make a whole lot more money, but it's going to give your students a massive amount of brand new value that I know that they're not getting in private lessons with you. And that's not, I'm not saying anything negative about you. It's just that the private lesson format, as great as it is for many things, it's limited in some ways. This other format is going to fill in the gaps that private lessons naturally create and solve a lot of the problems that are inherent in private guitar teaching lessons. So come to my website, to the link below. I'm not selling anything here. I'm just offering some free resources. If you would like to talk to me about me personally mentoring you, we can talk about that. I have a program specifically for that, which is not free, but we can talk about that another time, separately, or whatever. To get started, come to my website, fill out these forms. Let me give you some free feedback on things you can implement right away. Check out this video. It's going to be great.